Amber Marsala with SCN Corporate Connect. We're here today in Miami at the North American Bitcoin Conference. I'm here now with Michael Turpin. He's the CEO of Transform Group and CoinAgenda. So Michael, tell us, what are you trying to accomplish with CoinAgenda Caribbean?
Sure. So CoinAgenda Caribbean, this will be our second year. We're looking to accomplish several purposes. Number one, we have a focus on family offices and on friendly jurisdictions.
Okay.
Family offices have been sort of slow to come into the blockchain space, but now that they've seen that in the last year, people had, not 18% gains from the S&P, but, 10 times their money, 20 times their money, 30 times their money, they're looking and saying, what part of our portfolio does this should take place here? Because it's obviously a high risk, high reward asset group, and it's outperformed every stock market, every currency, every asset class, according to the Wall Street Journal, since it's been in existence, with the exception of 1 year.
Okay.
That was 2014, when 2013 had gone up from $13 to $1,100. So when you go up 100x in a year, it's okay to be down a little bit the next year. And obviously here we've gone up about 10x from last year on average for Bitcoin, a little bit more for your ICOs. And so we're going to have some of the leading experts in the world kind of look at this from an economics perspective, and then we also have some of the top companies that are the new ICOs present. Last year in Puerto Rico, so we've been holding this in Puerto Rico for a few reasons. I live in Puerto Rico. I was the first person in the blockchain to sort of go to Puerto Rico to take advantage of some of the tax incentives there. And it also means that for American family offices, they don't, it's not a place that you need a passport to go to. Not that family offices don't have passports, but it's just very easy to come down to. And we're holding it at the Concha Renaissance, which is a beautiful resort, 4.5 star whatever resort, right on the Atlantic Ocean in the middle of Condado Beach. Really lovely. And so we're also looking at friendly jurisdictions. So we talk to places like Gibraltar. Most of the friendly jurisdictions, the place where they welcome cryptocurrency companies instead of try to over-regulate them to death, are typically in Europe, places like Malta and Isle of Man and Guernsey and Jersey, or they're in the Caribbean, places like Barbados and Bahamas and BVI. And so half of them in their Caribbean, so we are inviting people to speak who are from those Caribbean nations to talk about incentives, about why you might want to locate your company in one jurisdiction or another, and then as well having the Europeans, and we've had people from Singapore come last year. From the company perspective, last year we had 5 ICOs launch at the show that raised a combined over $200 million, including $153 million for Bancor. And the market cap today of those combined companies is more than $5 billion.
Really?
The biggest one being Quantum, which raised $18 million and has been as high as $6 billion in market cap. I haven't checked it today, but it's certainly in the $5 billion range. So obviously you made a lot of money if you invested in Quantum back when it was a $30 million market cap a year ago.
Wow. So yeah, Puerto Rico is definitely a great place to be for the blockchain space, that's for sure.
Yeah, and there's been a little bit of it started as a trickle and now seems to be a flood of people in the blockchain community who are American citizens coming down there, because Puerto Rico, through its Act 20 and Act 22, Act 22, which is the Investor Act, it's the only place in the world that Americans, there's plenty of places where you can start a company and pay zero tax on your corporate gains, but at some point you want to go and spend some of them yourself if you created wealth through investing. And the only place in the world that American citizens do not pay the IRS and do not pay a comparable rate to someplace else is Puerto Rico. So they have 100% exemption from U.S. Tax by being a Puerto Rican resident. And most of the other territories, like Guam and Virgin Islands, have a comparable size tax there. Puerto Rico has a deal with the IRS that you get 100% exemption from IRS tax and 100% exemption from Puerto Rico tax, because they want to bring down the great minds to start businesses and to improve the employment situation and the overall, bringing them from an agrarian economy into an information economy. And so far, I was the first one to move. Brock Pierce, who is the chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation and Chief Strategy Officer at EOS and a Managing Director of Blockchain Capital, very well known in the space. He moved down
Wow.
in December. He's now Puerto Rican resident, and he's looking to do big things on the island. Reeve Collins started Tether and just did a $40 million ICO with Block V. He moved down in December. Domi Zinnis from Wings, he moved down in November. So there's been, I hold an annual, what I call Blockchain Island is my name for it. I have a little group trying to educate people. We had a New Year's party, we had 70 people there, so, and about half of them were people who had just moved to the island.
Really?
So this is a place also, March 17th to 19th, where family offices as well as companies and investors looking to learn about new deal flow, to learn about trends in the industry from the top investors. We get digital currency funds from all over the world coming in for this event, and then to also learn about Puerto Rico, and if you're an American citizen, well, that might be a good alternative for you for either your business, which is 4% tax, nothing to the IRS, or for your personal net wealth, which is 0% through 2035.
Well, that sounds great. You seem to have it figured out.
Yeah, I learned about it and studied it, and it's a great place to live too.
Great. Well, best of luck to you. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm Amber Marsala, and you're watching SCN Corporate Connect.